Today we're going to be planting bare root apple trees. So we've got everything we need on the tractor. We're actually going to cheat a little bit and use the post hole digger on the 3-point hitch to actually get our holes started and dug, saving some manual labor. Then we've got a trash can of water and we've got our bare root trees here set up in the tractor bucket. So here are the trees. I have them set in this bucket of water just for now to keep the roots moist until we get them in the ground. You cannot leave them submerged in water long term because roots also need air. So let's pop one of these out here. So you can see there's the root there, and right here by my thumb is the Graft Union. So fruit trees are grafted. So below my thumb is the rootstock, and above that, this stem is the actual apple tree. Now, if you go buy a fruit tree from, say, a big box store or local nursery, you may or may not get to choose the rootstock that the tree is grafted to. And if you buy from a box store, you don't get to choose, and sometimes you don't even get to see what rootstock the tree is actually grafted to. And the rootstocks perform differently. In this case, I selected all of these trees to be grafted to rootstock G890, which is a disease-resistant rootstock that produces a half-standard or semi-dwarf size tree, probably about 15 feet tall, 15 feet wide, or thereabouts when it's fully mature. So when you choose your rootstock is actually what's going to control how big your tree gets. The other nice thing about this rootstock, G890, is it anchors pretty well in the ground, meaning these trees shouldn't need support as they get mature. Now that's important because there's a lot of infrastructure if your trees need support, and a lot of the dwarf trees do need support, so you end up having to build some kind of a trellis or otherwise put in a post system to support the trees. So we shouldn't need to do that with these, and this rootstock should perform pretty well. One of the most common rootstocks for semi-dwarf trees is called M7. It's been around for a long time, and it's a pretty good rootstock. I wouldn't really have much problem planting trees on the M7 rootstock. I just felt like the G890 was going to be a little bit better for us, for our soils, and for what we're doing. You know, it doesn't do you any good if you plant a disease-resistant apple tree, which all of the varieties that we're planting are disease-resistant, if you don't plant them with a disease-resistant rootstock. Now, ordering these this way, bare root, is the most economical way to get fruit trees. Now, these are just whips. They don't have any branches on them, so it's a little longer to get them grown to the point of harvest, but I can control exactly where those branches are based on the pruning later. You can see the tags here. We have 4 different varieties that we're planting today. We've got Pristine, SnowSweet, Williams Pride, and Freedom apple trees that we're going to be planting today. They all ripen at different times, but they all are disease resistant, and they're mostly good for fresh eating. So different apples are best for different purposes. That's another thing to consider if you're getting apple trees. So we've got the depth here with this hole. I'm gonna open it up a little bit wider, and I'm gonna strip away the sod from the surface around the hole just to reduce weed pressure and all that, because after we plant these, we are gonna put wood chips around them. So planting bare root, you want a hole that's big enough to let the roots kind of fully spread out and extend down in the hole. And then the graft union there, you want to have a few inches above the ground surface. So what we're going to do is we're going to start backfilling this. We got to tamp things in really well because you don't want any air pockets around the roots. You want them well packed into soil. And we're going to end up filling part way, tamping, watering, and then filling the rest of the way, tamping and watering. And we'll make sure that that graft union is right up a few inches above the ground surface. Can you guys scoop some dirt in there? All right, drop it in. There you go. Can you scoop some dirt?
Yeah. Daddy, we are the ones that only can do this.
Go ahead. I'll push some in too. I think we need another scoop on that side over there. What do you think? All right. Okay, let's see. Let me tamp this in a little.
I got a scoop to put on this.
Go ahead. Let's get some water for it and soak the soil.
Ew, that's mud, Daddy.
Well, yeah, we're letting that water soak right in.
So that the apple tree can grow big and strong. Yeah.
Okay, let's let that soak a minute.
Yeah. And the root is gonna soak it in too. You call it a post hole digger.
That's because that's what it is.
You call it an auger.
Well,
you
it's
call
an auger on the post hole digger.
Yeah. It's a post holder. It's a post holder digger. And where's the post hole digger? So we're gonna put wood chips there so that we don't hit it with the weed whacker.
Well, yes, we don't have to get close to it.
But that's the same thing what we did with our other trees. I see grass popping up through the soil. That's because I waked it.
I'm gonna make this ring just a little bit wider.
I guess it's gonna dig up. Great. How could you do that holding a shovel? Why are you watering the top?
We want to soak that soil and help it settle in.
Yeah.
Right around those tree roots. So we cut back the sod in a nice ring around the tree. That is the graft union that's a few inches above the soil surface. What'll happen is we'll place wood chips on top of that to kind of fill it up to the grass surface. Those wood chips will come up to just a bit below that graft union, probably an inch or so below the graft union. And hopefully this tree will take well. Now we just have 8 more to go. We've got all 9 trees in the ground. Now we need to go around and clean up the sod clumps, put them in compost, get wood chips, and spread them around the trees. Last but not least, we do have deer that come through here all the time, so we got to go get some cages that we made up to set around each tree to deter the deer from nibbling on these and setting them way back or straight up killing them off. Well, that is 9 apple trees successfully planted. I had some good helpers out here today, which is a good thing because given the rate that they go through apples, this is going to be nice once we can actually harvest from these trees. We do have 3 more trees that are on order from another source. Those are Liberty. The source where I got these from didn't have Liberty in stock anymore, so I had to order from another source. Those trees will be coming in a couple of days. It's supposed to rain here for the next few days, so that's actually going to be nice. Keep the ground nice and soaked to help these trees as they're first planted. So hopefully they will all survive and mature into nice fruit-bearing trees.